Look, Bang, I've seen your dynasty. Very sad. A lot of mud, a lot of dirt. It's a low ROI operation. You're proud because you took over a couple of huts in Chang'an? I build golden towers in the middle of Manhattan while the whole world watches. I don't just lead, I dominate the narrative. I've got 100 million people on True Social, X, and every platform imaginable. My voice is a global frequency. I say one word about a stock, and billions of dollars move. I say one word about a border, and the whole world starts building fences. You're talking about formatting people? Please. I deplatformed the entire mainstream media. I made them irrelevant. I'm not just a president. I'm the ultimate disruptor. You're running a legacy system on a 2,000-year-old floppy disk. I'm running a real-time global takeover. You're a local landlord. I'm the landlord of the human mind.
Donald, you're high on your own supply. You think your frequency is power. It's just noise. You're a tenant of the algorithm. You live in a house owned by Silicon Valley, and you think you're the landlord. I didn't need followers to like my posts. I needed them to fear the code. My system didn't rely on a 24-hour news cycle. It relied on the biological clock. Taxes, labor, military service. It's hard-coded into the family unit. You talk about disruption? I didn't disrupt the media. I disrupted the concept of the individual. I turned every peasant into a cell of the state. You're a reality show? My reign was the final reality. You get voted out in 4 years. I get worshipped for 4 centuries. Your power is a subscription model that people can cancel. Mine is an operating system they can't even find the delete button for.
Listen, you don't get it. You're a command guy. Very boring, very dictator chic. I'm a market maker. I don't need to force people. I make them beg for the deal. I turn the most powerful office on earth into a merchandise machine. I sold the dream, and they bought the hats, the NFTs, the whole damn thing. You think you're eternal? Your empire's a museum piece. My brand is evolutionary. I crashed the GOP, I crashed the Democrats, and I rebuilt the whole game around me. That's the art of the deal. I don't follow the rules of the house. I buy the house, and then I fire the staff. You had to handle warlords like Xiang Yu. I handle global superpowers over a cheeseburger. I'm not just in charge, Bang. I'm uncancelable. That's a level of power your mandate of heaven could never even process. Bang, let's talk about assets. I looked at your history, very messy. You're a professional runner. You ran from Xiang Yu, you ran from your own family, you even pushed your kids out of the carriage just to gain a little more speed to market. Very cold. I respect the hustle, but it's a bad look. In my world, we don't run, we restructure. I filed for Chapter 11 6 times. 6 times. The fake news calls it failure, but the smart people, they call it strategic deleveraging. I used the bank's own money to build my empire, and when the debt got too heavy, I made the debt their problem. That's the art of the deal. I used bankruptcy as a shield. You used a carriage to dump your kids. I used the legal system to dump my creditors. We're both survivors, but I did it with a gold-plated parachute.
Strategic deleveraging? Donald, you use big words to hide a simple fact. You're a slave to the debt. If the bank stops lending, your gold towers turn into dust. You're a billionaire who's always one margin call away from being a beggar. And about the kids? That's not bad luck. That's prioritizing the founder. If the founder dies, the startup, the Han Dynasty dies. My children were early stage seed capital. Sometimes you have to burn the seed to save the farm. You used Chapter 11 to screw your bankers. I used the Great Partition to screw my generals.
And that's where you're a losing CEO. You gave away half your company. You handed out kingdoms to Han Xin and those other guys like they were candy. You gave them voting rights and real estate. Huge mistake. Never give away the equity, Bang. I keep the majority. I keep the Trump name. When you give a general a kingdom, you're just funding your future competitor. That's bad business 101.
Is it? Donald, look at what happened next. I gave Han Xin the title of King of Qi. I gave him the phantom equity. He thought he owned the subsidiary, but I owned the parent company, the imperial mandate. This is the lesson you missed in your fancy schools. Equity is a trap if you control the liquidation. I gave them land when I needed their soldiers, the labor. But the moment the acquisition of the whole of China was complete, I initiated a hostile takeover. I didn't fire Han Xin, I liquidated his entire department permanently. You fire people on TV for ratings. I delisted my rivals from the Book of the Living. I use future assets to buy present loyalty. That's the most powerful financial instrument ever created. I traded promises for reality, and once I had the reality, I rewrote the promises. You call yourself a deal maker? I'm the architect of the infinite contract.
Hostile takeover of your own board of directors. Okay, I like that. Very ruthless, very succession. But here's the problem, Bang. Your infinite contract died with you. My brand is a franchise. Even when I'm gone, the Trump name stays on the building. It's intangible asset management. I don't need to kill my generals. I make them affiliates. I let them get rich under my umbrella, and they pay me a royalty in the form of loyalty and votes. I don't need to liquidate them because I've turned them into brand ambassadors. You're playing a zero-sum game. I'm playing a licensing game. You had to be a tyrant to keep your company together. I just need to be popular. In the 21st century, popularity is the ultimate leverage buyout. If the people love the brand, the board of directors can't touch me. You're worried about hard power. I'm the king of soft power, and soft power is much more profitable. Bang, let's talk about communication. You're old school. You had to have people write poems about you on bamboo sticks. Very slow, very low bandwidth. I am the master of the direct channel. I don't need the New York Times, and I certainly don't need your court historians. I go straight to the consumer. Social media is my imperial palace. I can reach 100 million people with a single post while I'm eating a Big Mac. It's a real-time feedback loop. I create the meme, and the meme becomes the reality. I don't need a mandate from heaven. I have the algorithm. If the people are liking it, I'm the king. You were waiting for a star to fall from the sky. I'm the one making the stars fall with a single tweet. That's total narrative control.
Direct channel. Donald, you are a child playing with a candle. You think your followers are yours. They belong to the platform. You are a tenant farmer on Mark Zuckerberg's land. He can evict you with one click. I didn't post my story. I hard-coded it into the culture. I didn't just tell them I was a leader. I told them I was the son of the Red Emperor who slew the White Snake. I didn't use memes. I used prophecy, Chen Wei. When a farmer hears a story about a dragon appearing at my birth, he doesn't like it, he fears it. He accepts it as an unchangeable system parameter. You're chasing engagement, which changes every hour. I created legitimacy that lasted for 400 years. You're a trending topic. I am the grand narrative. You have fans. I have believers. Fans are fickle, Donald. But believers, they will march into a meat grinder because they think it's heaven's will. That's not engagement. That's psychological infrastructure.
Infrastructure? Boring. It's too slow, Bang. We're in the attention economy. If you aren't trending, you're dead. You're talking about fear. Fear is a terrible business model. It creates high maintenance costs. I use entertainment. I made politics fun. I turn the most boring job in the world into a must-watch reality show. People don't follow me because they fear me. They follow me because I'm the only thing on TV that isn't fake news. I am the ultimate content creator. I disrupted the prophecy business too. I don't need ancient myths. I create alternative facts. If I say it, my base believes it. It's self-sustaining reality. I've built a personal brand so strong that it's immune to truth. Your Red Emperor story took years to spread through villages. I can launch a new reality in 15 seconds. I am the speed of light. You are a slow-moving caravan.
Speed is a trap, Donald. The faster you move, the less depth you have. Your alternative facts are like your Trump stakes. They look good on the box, but they have no substance. You say you disrupted the game. I didn't just disrupt it, I standardized it. I took the chaos of the warring states and I created the Confucian legalist bundle. I gave the intellectuals a job input and the peasants a goal output. I built a closed-loop ecosystem. You're a content creator. That's a job for a servant. A king doesn't create content. A king creates the calendar. I decide what year it is. I decide what truth is taught in every school for the next 20 generations. You're fighting over an election every 4 years. That's a short-term lease. I'm playing the long-term ownership game. You're a tenant of the 24-hour news cycle. I am the landlord of history.
Landlord of history? Bang! History is being rewritten every second on Wikipedia and YouTube. There is no grand narrative anymore. There are only fractured audiences, and I own the biggest fracture. You think you're eternal because your name is in a book? My name is a global icon. It's on buildings in Istanbul, Dubai, and Manila. It's a decentralized empire. Even if they format me in Washington, the Trump brand exists in the hearts of millions of deplorables who hate the system as much as I do. I am the ghost in the machine. You're a statue in a museum. I am a living viral infection in the global political system. You can't kill a virus, Bang. You can only try to contain it. And as you can see, nobody can contain me. Bang, we've talked about deals, we've talked about followers, but let's talk about the exit strategy. Every great CEO knows the goal is to build a family dynasty. Look at my kids, Don Jr., Ivanka, Eric. They're smart, they're high energy, and they carry the brand. I'm not just building a presidency, I'm building a family office that will control the narrative for the next 100 years. I've turned Trump into a franchise. Even when I'm off the stage, the show goes on. It's about succession planning. You had a bunch of wives fighting and a son who was too soft. Your board of directors was a disaster the moment you closed your eyes. That's bad estate planning, Bang. Total disaster.
Succession planning? Donald, you think your children can hold your brand together? A brand is just a name on a building. It's fragile hardware. The moment you're gone, the lease on your influence starts to expire. I didn't rely on my blood alone. I executed the White Horse Oath. It was a system-level smart contract. I gathered my generals and hard-coded a rule into the empire. If anyone not of the Liu family becomes a king, the world shall rise and slay them. I didn't leave a brand. I left an auto-executing protocol. I didn't care if my son was soft because the system architecture was so strong that even a child could sit on the throne and the machine would keep grinding. You're building a family business. I built a self-correcting OS. You want your kids to be CEOs? I made the entire world my asset custodian.
Smart contracts, protocols. It sounds like a lot of red tape to me. You're talking about bureaucracy. I'm talking about legacy. I've created a meme that never dies. I've taught millions how to fight the system. You can't hard code that. It's in the spirit. I'm not worried about protocols. I'm worried about market share. As long as people want what I'm selling, freedom, strength, and a little bit of chaos, the Trump name will be the most valuable ticker symbol in the world. And by the way, Bang, you should look into merchandising. You've got the robes, you've got the dragon. We could have sold Han Empire sneakers for $499 a pair. You missed the cash flow game, you had the power, but you didn't have the monetization strategy.
Sneakers, cash flow? Donald, you're still thinking like a merchant. A king doesn't monetize. A king allocates. I didn't need to sell shoes because I owned the foundry. I didn't need market share because I owned the marketplace. You're fighting for a seat at the table. I built the table. But I'll give you these, Donald. You know how to stir the pot. You know how to make the common man feel like he's part of the deal. That's the peasant's wisdom. We both know the secret. The elite are weak. The intellectuals are useless, and the only thing that matters is the deal you make with the masses. You did it with a red hat, I did it with a red dragon. Same trick, different century.
Finally, something we agree on. It's all about the crowd. Whether it's 200 BC or 2024, if you own the audience, you own the empire. It's been a huge conversation, Bang, truly legendary. Now look at you, the viewers. You've just seen the greatest debate in the history of YouTube, maybe ever. It was incredible. If you want more of these high-level deals, you need to hit that like button. It's a great button, a beautiful button. Do it for the algorithm.
And don't forget to subscribe. Joining this channel is like joining my peasant revolt. It's a high-growth investment. Share this with your generals. Let them know the code has been cracked.
Make your subscription great again. Click the bell. Do it now, or you're just a loser. We'll see you in the next liquidation. It's going to be huge.